where the crooked shadows creep, where the ground remembers tragedies the living never keep. There's a cauldron made of iron, older than the breath of man, etched with runes that shift and soften every time the witch begins her plan. A single ember flickers like a trembling dying star, but when she steps beside it, it awakens from afar. Her footsteps rattle branches as if waking ancient bones, and the night holds in its breathing, afraid of all the unknown. She lifts her arms in silence as the forest bows its head. For the moon she stole at sunrise now hangs dying faint and red. Her fingers drip with silver, liquid stolen from the sky, and every drop that hits the fire makes the darkness multiply. The cauldron groans like something living, something caught between two worlds, and a map of ghostly constellations in its boiling depths unfurls. The trees turn in their sockets as if trying not to see, while the roots beneath her tremble in a slow prophetic plea. A whisper slithers outward from the steam that curls above, a sound too soft for hatred, yet too hollow to be loved. It winds around her shadow, begging gently to be freed. But freedom is a luxury her wicked craft does not concede. Oh, the cauldron's glow, a light no mortal soul should ever know, a beacon for the lost who walk below, a cradle built from fear and woe. Run while you can, before it grows. Beware the cauldrons glow. Faces bloom inside the vapor, children, elders, spirits torn, not alive enough for mourning, not departed to be mourned. They twist and sigh in silence, mouthing words that have no shape, for the witch feeds on their memories and none are offered an escape. She hums a tune that predates fire, predates language, predates night, and every note she sings becomes another stolen right. A melody of curses sways like smoke around her feet, as shadows bend in worship to the rhythm of the heat. She drops a bone into the brew, a king's or maybe just a thief's, and the cauldron answers instantly with 70 new griefs. Then feathers fall like dying snow from ravens carved in frost, each one a whispered eulogy for souls the Coven lost. She pours in ash from ancient springs, now buried the light becomes a tide. Her hair begins to rise as if pulled upward by the void. While the stars blink out like candles, she has Persolo destroyed. A ringing fills the forest like a choir lost in time, and the witch steps ever closer to the edge of her own crime. She breathes within the fire's core, inhaling all its light, and the moon above stops trembling, because she's stealing it tonight. She walks along the crooked path where midnight learns to breathe. Her shadow thin as hunger, dragging secrets underneath. The wind curls at her fingertips like frightened dying strands. For tonight the witch is wandering, with the moon already in her hand. Her cloak is stitched with silence from 1,000 stolen nights. Her steps disturb the starlight, turning constellations white. Every heartbeat in the forest slows, uncertain where to stand, as she lifts her pale and perfect prize, the moonlight in her hand. Trembles like a captured soul, a lantern made of green, soft as whispered memory, cold as broken belief. The sky above is hollow now, stripped of what it commands, and the witch smiles with trembling joy at the moon within her hands. Beware the moon in her hands. She plucks a thread of silver from its trembling, wounded core, and the heavens groan in agony they've never felt before. The stars begin to flicker like extinguishing commands, and she binds them to her fingers with the moonlight in her hands. A choir of broken angels tries to call her to relent, but she turns their pleas to cinders with a quiet, cruel intent. For she's not stealing for her power, she is stealing what withstands what the earth has long forgotten, left imprisoned in her hands. Then silence swells, a heavy thing, a crown no mortal dare to bring. She lifts the moon like offering and breaks the sky's last tethered string. She now commands, a relic of the world's abandoned plans, a beacon lost to cursed demands. Now shadows own the night in endless trance, for she holds the moon in her hand. Changed, forever dimmed by the moon within her hand. The night awoke in silence as the witch stepped through the flames, her footsteps turning soil into the ghosts of burned out names. The trees once tall and ancient now stood trembling, scorched and grey, as the forest wore its burial shroud with dawn kept far away. Smoke clung to the branches like forgotten souls in flight. The ground was cracked and hollow from the ritual of night. Cinders fell like dying snow, drifting where the shadows clash, and every breath she left behind turned the forest into creatures hid in hollow logs, afraid the witch would hear, for she carried in her heartbeat the remains of stolen fear. Her cloak brushed dying embers that still whisper their last cry, and the sky bent low above her, unsure whether to live or die. She murmured names of seasons lost, of rivers stripped of glow, of spirits bound in iron pots 1,000 years below. Each word was like a dagger made of cold and ancient wrath, and the forest bowed in agony beneath her walking path. Oh, the forest covered in ash touched a dying tree and felt the pulse beneath its bark, a fading echo of a life still fighting through the dark. It begged her for forgiveness, though it didn't understand that forgiveness is a language rarely spoken by her hand. She closed her eyes and listened to the forest's brittle moan, a symphony of crumbling life, of roots turned into stone. Then with a sigh she spread her arms and let the embers flash, and in that breath the world resigned to becoming dust and ash. A single raven circled her, its wings outlined in flame, the last surviving witness to the ruin she became. It perched upon a fallen trunk, its feathers streaked with black, as if it carried every death the forest couldn't carry back. The witch reached out and touched its beak. The creature didn't flee. It stared with eyes of molten gold, unbound by destiny. And though the forest wept behind in one continued crash, she stroked its wings and whispered, "Rise from all that's ash." The wind began to gather, swirling softly at her feet, lifting ash like ghosts of prayers the forest failed to keep. The sky turned dark with memories too scattered to recall, and somewhere in the ruins she swore she heard a child call. A beckoning of innocence twisted into fear, a voice the witch remembered but refused to bring near. Still the echo chased her heartbeat down the ritual's path, as the forest sang its requiem beneath the tide of ash. Beside the riverbed now, nothing but a scar, a ribbon of forgotten dreams stretched thin beneath the star. She dipped her hand inside the dust where water used to flow, and watched it slip through trembling fingers, heavy, cold, and slow. The ashes clung to her like sorrow long denied, a stain that grew with every breath, a truth she couldn't hide. And when she stood once more, the land collapsed in one last crash, the final heartbeat of a world swallowed by ash. Then silence claimed the forest as eyes. The witch steps out of nothing with a veil across her face. The moon is but a memory, the wind a dying sigh, and the creatures of the forest hide from her unblinking eye. Her breath is cold enchantment dripping slowly into air, turning silence into footsteps, turning dreams into despair. The sky becomes her canvas, black, unfinished, void of light, as she murmurs incantations to command the hollow night. Her hands begin to circle in a dance both slow and grim, drawing shapes that warp the shadows at their quiet trembling brim. Each gesture is a sentence of a spell not meant for man, a language older than the bones the earth can barely withstand. She plucks a thread of darkness from the corner of the sky and twists it through her fingers like a frayed, forgotten lie. The ground beneath her pulses as reality turns slight, bending to her whispered power, the spell of the hollow night. Oh, the spell of the hollow night, where shadows crawl and swallow light, a curse that binds the world too tight, a door that opens without sight. Run from her voice before it bites, beware the spell of the hollow night. The trees lean in to listen, though they tremble at her song. For every word she summons makes the darkness twice as strong. A choir of ravens gathers, beating wings in frantic waves, yet even they stay silent, sensing all she now enslaves. Her chant begins to thicken like the fog of ancient graves, pulling spirits from the soil, from forgotten hidden caves. They hover at her shoulders in a halo, pale and white, bound forever to her bidding on this hollow, haunted night. She kneels beside a fallen stone, once carved with sacred vows, now cracked like broken prophecy beneath her furrowed brows. With one slow touch she stains it with the ink of vanished dawn, and watches as its blessings twist to curses, one by one. The air grows dense with murmurs of the name she should not speak, but the make the strongest mortals fracture fainting and weak. The wind retreats in terror, even darkness holds its breath. The witch stands at the threshold between power, grief, and death. A pulse, a crack, a violent hum. holds in her sight undone. The stars shiver like frightened prey. The sky bends down in disarray. The night itself begins to sway. She smiles and shadows kneel to obey. sea racing, warmth with each device. Run from the frost that grips you twice. Beware the witch's broom of ice. She lifted it above her head and spun a growing storm, a vortex made of shattered moons and silhouettes deformed. The wind bent low in homage, the night began to slide as winter's ancient tyranny awakened at her side. She breathed upon its frozen spine and watched the blizzard bloom, a swarm of hollow snowflakes humming prophecy of doom. Each flake a dying memory, each gust a soul's demise, all summoned by the sweeping of her merciless broom of ice. A village lay beneath the hills, still dreaming warm and bright, but she descended softly like a flaw stitched in the night. Her broom scraped once across the ground, the sound was sharp and clean, a ringing like a crystal scream no human ear had seen. The windows wept with frostbite, the lamps forgot their flame. Children clutched their blankets as their breath withdrew its name. A mother cried for mercy, but no plea could be precise enough to thaw the hatred of the witch's broom of ice. The moon grew pale and hollow, snow rose like a ghost, stars flickered out like memories a dying heart had lost. The wind spun faster, fiercer with its bone cold sacrifice, a choir built of winter's grief beneath her broom of ice. A cracking sound, the sky split wide, a frozen tear fell down its side. The witch stood still in bitter pride for all the warmth she'd longed in. Oh, the broom of ice, a testament to sacrifice, a relic forged from winter's vice, a force that cuts the moon in slice. No star survives its paradise. Beware the witch's broom of ice. She soared above the ruined land, her cloak of frozen wing, and swept the final embers of the warmth of early spring. Then as the cold retreated with the dawn's reluctant rise, she vanished on the horizon with her mournful broom of ice. Yet deep within the forest where her footsteps once were laid, a whisper lingers brittle in the shadowed icy glade, a warning carved in frost that never melts, not even twice. Beware the witch who wanders with her cursed broom of ice. Now winter keeps her secrets in the silence of the deep, and the wind remembers everything the frost refused to keep. Though centuries may bury her beneath the frozen skies, the world still breathes in terror at the thought of her broom of ice. bathe in decay. The witch keeps an ancient mirror no dawn can chase away. Its surface once was silver, now it shimmers void and black. A doorway carved from shadows where the lost refuse to come back. She wipes the glass with trembling hands, though dust does not appear. For nothing mortal clings to it, only whispers built from fear. And every time she looks inside, the world begins to blur, as memories she never lived awaken deep in her. Faces ripple softly in the dark like drowning thoughts of sin. Echoes of the broken soul she's trapped forever in. Some scream without a sound, some reach with hands unseen, but the witch just tilts her head, smiling sharp and serpentine. For this memory is her oracle, her anchor to the night, a vessel full of secrets stolen out of dying light. Its glass devours moonbeams, its edges drip with dread, a relic from a world where even shadows fear to tread. Oh, her blank mirror reflects your truth but draws it nearer. It breaks the brave, corrupts the clear, turns hope to dust with chilling leer. Run from the face that disappears. Beware her blackened mirror. She whispers to the darkness, show the things I can't recall. The mirror trembles violently, then opens like a fall. Visions bleed across the glass, an ocean made of screams, a forest burning upside down, a graveyard built from dreams. She watches as a younger self steps forward from the haze, a girl with eyes like dying suns and hands the night would praise. The child lifts up her tiny palms, each stained with lunar stain, and mouths a word the witch remembers only as a pain. But then the mirror shifts again. The scene becomes a door to moments she erased herself 1,000 lives before. A family she abandoned, a village turned to dust, a promise made in trembling breath, betrayed by frost and lust. The mirror shows her everything she swore she had undone, the spell that froze the kingdom, the night she killed the sun, the pact she made with ravens when her heart grew sharp as spears, all pouring from the darkness of her cursed blackened mirror. The mirror starts to flicker like a heart about to die. Its frame begins to fracture with a deep foreboding sigh. She leans in close, entranced by all the horror she commands, placing softly on the trembling glass her cold and shaking hands. The room grows tight, the shadows bend, the visions start to twist and rend. 1,000 futures meet their end, and still she watches like a friend. Then suddenly a voice rings out, a cry of warning sharp with doubt. once you look out. Oh, her blackened mirror, a haunted truth consuming seer. It traps the past, distorts the near, and binds your soul in shadows leer. No witch escapes its ancient smear. Beware her blackened mirror. She lifts her gaze and realizes the room has disappeared, replaced by shifting corridors, her own reflection feared. For now she stands inside the glass, the world reversed and wrong, a prisoner to the vision she thought she controlled so long. Outside her mirror, self steps forth, wearing her veneer guise, a witch with borrowed heartbeat, with stolen hungry eyes. It turns away victorious as her spirit slowly sears, and the witch becomes another ghost inside her blackened surface softly gleams, holding one more stolen witch within its depth of screams. And any soul that wanders near will feel its cold allure, for doom awaits those brave enough to face her blackened mirror. In the corner of the midnight, where the shadows coil and rise, walks a silent cursed companion with two ever-burning eyes. No whisker stirs, no breath escapes. It moves as if a thought, a creature bound to witchcraft by a spell the world forgot. Its fur is black as hollow graves, its steps too light to hear, yet every place it lingers fills with whispers shaped by fear. And though its body's lifeless calm makes night itself seem tame, its glowing eyes betray the fire of something not quite tame. It prowls beside the witch as if it were her living shade, a sentinel of secrets from the pact she long has made. Its gaze alone can silence birds and bend the moon to hide. For burning eyes remember truths no mortal heart survived. Villagers who glimpse its where they feel their blood retreat, a coldness dripping through their bones, a rhythm incomplete. For once the cat has found your scent, no prayer or plea applies. The witch will hear your heartbeat through those burning, watching eyes. Oh, the cat with burning eyes, a omen dressed in shadows guise. It walks the line where terror drips from its fur, and every time she strokes its back, the flames inside it stir. Its purr is not a comfort, it's a warning wrapped in heat, a heartbeat forged of embers masked beneath a feline beat. The witch once saved this creature from the grave that claimed its soul. She fed it moonlit ashes till the darkness made it whole. Now bound by ancient bloodshed that no mortal force unties, it serves her as a lantern with its two unblinking eyes. Sometimes it leaves her cottage to patrol the forest rim, its tail a line of flickering sparks that make the shadows dim. It listens to the breathing of the living and the dead, then carries whispered offerings inside its flaming head. Children tell of nights when on their windowsills it sat, its glowing gaze a prophecy too bleak to combat. For every soul it watches feels their future cauterize, marked beneath the judgment of those burning, hungry eyes. The creature stops beneath the moon and howls in neither joy nor ruin. Its voice, a trembling, ghostly tune, calls shadows to its side too soon. A circle forms around its light, a halo of nocturnal spite, and everything it sees tonight is bound to witchcraft's ancient rite. Oh, the cat with burning eyes, a witness where the darkness thrives, a creature built from severed ties, a spark that never ever dies. No mortal truth or hope applies. Beware the cat with burning eyes. It brings the witch the secrets of the hearts it's watched in fear, and she turns every confession into power drawing near. But sometimes in the mirror it refuses to appear, for even cursed companions hide the things they hold most dear. Yet when the witch grows weakened by the spell she tries to keep, the cat lies by her side as if protecting her in sleep. Its fiery glow turns gentle, still a flame that never dies, a loyal ghost forever bound inside its burning eyes. The night belongs to creatures who were never meant to live, and though the cat walks silently, it takes what darkness gives. So if you see it waiting where the pale moonlight complies, turn back before your fate is sealed by its eternal burning eyes. night she took the sky, the world forgot how stars were born. The heavens dimmed to embers, pale and fractured, frayed and torn. The silence fell so heavy that the mountains seemed to bow. For no one dared to question what the witch would steal next now. She climbed the hill alone, her cloak a storm of swirling black. A shadow crowned with moonless light, with fate upon her back. And when she reached the summit, not a single creature stirred. Even time held still to listen for the spell she would confer. She raised her hands toward nothing, where the constellations slept, and plucked from air a trembling thread the sky itself had kept. The darkness quivered softly like a beast about to cry, for even the void fears the witch. On the night she steals the sky. She twisted that thin strand until it brightened in her palm. A fragile piece of stardust, humming, broken, lost and calm. Its glow revealed her hollow face, her eyes devoid of light. Two windows to the hunger that demanded she take the sky. Oh, the night she took the sky, when dreams fell silent, left to die. A world without its lullaby, a moonless truth that none deny. Run though you plead and wonder why. Beware the night she took the sky. The wind became her servant, swirling low around her feet. A spiral born of dying light and sorrow incomplete. She whispered to the darkness, give me what the stars conceal. And slowly every star began to fracture, spark and kneel. One by one they vanished into spirals in her grasp, like tiny screaming lanterns crushed within her tightening clasp. The constellations faded With every star devoured, the world grew heavy, faint and gray. A breathless fear now drifting in a darkness kept at bay. She gazed upon her masterpiece, the void she'd brought to life. A shroud across creation carved with shadows sharp as knife. And when she turned to leave, her cloak dispersed the final light, scattering the remnants of a once celestial night. No mortal dared to follow, no spirit asked her why. There was a hex she cast one night beneath a moon of shattered bone, a curse shaped from a dying breath that darkness claimed as own. It slithered through the forest, through the marrow of the land. A quiet, creeping hunger spun from trembling witches' hand. The villagers who sensed it swore the air became too tight, as though 1,000 unseen fingers squeezed the edges of the night. But no charm, no prayer, no whispered plea could make the shadows shake. For this was not a mortal spell, but a hex that wouldn't break. A man whose dreams turned rotten sought a priest to cleanse his fear, but every holy blessing burned to ash before it neared. A woman soft with sorrow tried to wash her hands in streams, yet the water fled in panic, carrying her screams. Children woke with trembling hearts, unable to explain the shapes clawing at their windows when the witch recalled their names. The bravest hunters fled the woods, their courage warm to wake, for all had felt the suffocating hex that wouldn't break. Oh, the hex that wouldn't break, a binding storm no soul can shake, a grip of fear the moon can't slake, a wound the dawn cannot remake. Run before your spirit aches, beware the hex that wouldn't break. Herself grew restless as the curse refused to fade, for though she stitched it perfectly, its power disobeyed. It crawled beyond her vision, taking victims of its choice, ignoring every chance she spoke with her commanding voice. It wrapped around her shadow, serpent made of night, coiling tighter every time she tried to set it right. And though she'd birthed the darkness with intention, cold and bleak, even she had come to to fear. The hex that wouldn't break. She traveled to the hollow hills, to the graves of ancient kings, seeking wisdom in the silence only death and winter bring. But the soil shook beneath her when her question hit the ground. For the dead refused to answer, terrified by what they found. She carved a rune of severed truth and cast it to the wind, hoping fate would show compassion for the chaos she'd unpinned. Yet even fate remained untouched, too frightened to partake. Fate bowed before the terror of the hex that wouldn't break. A tremor shook the forest, the moon bent low with dread. The curse began to whisper in a voice no longer dead. You made me from your anguish, it hissed with icy breath. I am your woven shadow, your companion born of death. She screamed into the darkness, but the echo sealed her fate. For you cannot kill a shadow that your own heart helped create. Oh, the hex that wouldn't break, a living wound, a soul's mistake, a curse that time cannot unmake, a truth too cruel for night to take. Run from the path the shadows take. Beware the hex that wouldn't break. The witch fell to her knees as the hex circled her form. A silent apparition shaped from every buried storm. It lifted up her heartbeat as if weighing what she'd done, and crowned itself the sovereign of the darkness she'd begun. Now legends say her cottage stands abandoned in the glade, a place where whispers linger of the curse she disobeyed. And still the wind grows violent where her footsteps used to shake, marking ground forever haunted by the hex that wouldn't break. A hex that wouldn't break, a hex that wouldn't break. A hex that wouldn't break, a hex that wouldn't break. A hex that and if you hear a soft come closer drifting through the night, turn back before the shadows pull your name into their bite. For some spells die with time, but what remains away. The witch in the hollow hour of midnight, where the dying shadows groan, the witch walks through the forest with a lantern made of bone. Its rib-like frame is trembling with a pale, unnatural light, a glow no mortal flame could make, a hunger fed by night. whispered secrets from the souls it once devoured. A dozen haunted memories that flicker where it's powered. The trees lean back in terror when its eerie glow is shown. For nothing holy lingers near a lantern made of bone. Oh, the lantern made of bone. Oh, the lantern made of bone. A cursed guide the dead have known. Oh, the lantern made of bone. It shines where living hope has flown. Oh, the lantern made of bone. It marks the graves the night has sown. Oh, the lantern made of bone. Turn back before your breath is blown. Beware the lantern made of bone. A traveler once followed it, mistaking it for light. But hope dissolves to ash beneath the witch's silent sight. He stepped too close to shadows where the hungry spirits moan, and vanished in the glow that burns inside the lantern made of bone. A trembling voice from deep within speaks softly through the fire's din. Remember what you traded in. This lantern burns on stolen sin. Oh, the lantern made of bone. Oh, the lantern made of bone. A relic carved from death's own throne. Oh, the lantern made of bone. No dawn can cleanse what it has shown. Oh, the lantern made of bone. No prayer can soothe the souls it's known. Oh, the lantern made of bone. Flee from the path its light has thrown. Beware the lantern made of bone. And still she walks at midnight through the forest overgrown, guided by a wicked glow from her lantern made of bone. When twilight thins to silver and the forest starts to shake, the witch lifts up her trembling hand and calls the night awake. A single raven answers first, its wings a crack of stone. Then dozens rise in shadowed swarms above her whispered tone. Their voices merge in aching screeches shaped by ancient grief, echoing through barren woods with razor-winged belief. Each cry a ghostly offering, each note a dying hymn, a choir born of midnight, singing at the witch's whim. They circle her like orbiting stars, but darker than despair. A spiral of abandoned souls trapped deep within their stare. She hums a low enchantment and the flock grows deathly still, awaiting her command to bend the sky to writhing sound. 1,000 ravens chanting as they tear the silence down. The witch closes her eyes and lets the shrieking voices spin. For only ravens sing the truth that humans keep within. Oh, the choir of ravens, a song no mortal hope can save in. It twists the dark, you're standing brave in. It burns the night you dare to stay in. Run before your pulse is taken. Beware the choir of ravens. Their wings beat like forgotten drums from ages scorched and black, drumming warnings into earth that time won't give back. They chant of wars the stars endured, of curses carved in stone, of promises the witch once made when she still walked alone. And as their voices thicken, cracking cold across the sky, the air itself grows heavy with the weight of those who died. She lifts her arm and every raven halts as if undone. A kingdom made of wings obeying only one. A sudden shrill of harmony shakes branches from their dreams. The wind becomes a worshipper of fractured ancient screams. The witch steps forth, her shadow stretched as ravens crown her throne. A symphony of darkness to claim the night her own. Oh, the choir of ravens, a hymn of death the night engraves in. A pulse the moon can't help but cave in. A truth the daylight won't behave in. No soul returns once it has bathed in. The haunted choir of ravens. Then silence folds around them, thick and trembling like a shroud. The ravens fade into the dark, no longer wing nor crowd, but still their voices echo where her path of shadows paves. For night remembers everything the ravens dare to say. Deep beneath the forest floor, where breath and memory fade, the witch walks with a quiet tread among the roots she made. They twist like ancient serpents carved from shadows, earth, and grief. Each coil a vow she whispered once in search of dark relief. The soil trembles at her passing, heavy with her sins. For every root remembers all the darkness she begins. And though the moon is watching, pale and helpless, half aligned, the witch keeps walking deeper toward the roots that bind. Some roots are thick as iron chains, some thin as dying air, but all of them are living things that answer to her care. They pulse beneath her fingertips like heartbeats out of place. Each throb a stolen memory she forced the earth to trace. She kneels and whispers softly, and the forest seems to bow as vines creep up to greet her with an old unholy vow. No mortal voice could summon them, no weaker will could win the endless grip of power in the roots that bind. To taste his fear, to claim him where he'd lie. He struggled, but the forest floor had already chosen him. A feast for tangled memories, a hymn the woods made grim. The witch looked on in silence, neither pleased nor torn apart, for she had learned long years ago that the earth mimics the heart, and hers was long entangled with the darkness intertwined, a labyrinth of hunger in the roots that bind. The ground begins to tremble as the roots rise from below. She smiles with quiet certainty as soil and spirit blend, for roots recall beginnings, but they never know an end. Oh, the roots that bind, a curse she crafted and designed. They claim the lost of every kind. They drink the tears the night resigned. No mortal soul can break or mind the buried roots that bind. Now every step she takes returns to soil, grief and night, for all her sins have rooted deep beyond the reach of light. And through the forest echoes one truth the stars can't unwind: the witch is always followed by the roots that bind. The coven gathers silently beneath the moon that doesn't shine. No torch, no flame, no whisper dares to break the sacred air. For the hush that cloaks the circle is a spell none else can bear. Robes of ash and shadows sway like ghosts without a name. Their faces pale reflections carved by secrets, fear and flame. But tonight no fire crackles, no chant is yet a sight. They wait for her arrival in the hush of the coven's mind. Like snowfall drifting backward through the night, her footsteps bending darkness into shapes that flee from sight. She lifts her hands in silence and the coven bows as one. For the ritual thrives in quiet where the darkest work is done. A single breath escapes her lips, a soft, forbidden sigh. The wind curls inward, trembling as if terrified to fly. No creature dares to move, no star remains aligned. As the night grows cold and breathless in the hush that binds the coven's mind. Oh, the hush of the coven, where silence speaks what fear has woven. A stillness deep the night is stolen, a vow unbroken, dark unspoken. Run before your fate is chosen. Beware the hush of the coven. A pulse of silver energy begins to rise from earth, a glow that shapes the shadows like a long forgotten birth. The witch is still unmoving, let the trembling light ascend. For only through their voicelessness the ritual can begin or end. Their hearts beat in unison, though none dare make a sound. Each rhythm amplifying through the stones that ring the ground. The witch steps to the center where the magic's been confined, a throne of utter quiet in the hush within the coven's mind. The silence swells, a living thing. The air grows tight, too scared to sing. A hidden force begins to ring as shadows kneel and form a wing. Then every witch begins to rise, their breath held deep to seal the ties of ancient oaths that still devise the hush that makes the darkness wise. of the Coven, a vow of night forever woven, a gate where mortal truths are broken, a spell no word has ever spoken. Turn back before your pulse is stolen. Beware the hush of the Coven. Without a sound, a cry, a plea, only the trembling echoes of a silence not yet free. And still the forest shivers at the memory left behind. The night the world fell breathless in the hush within the Coven's mind. The witch keeps one last candle in a chalice made of stone. Its flame a trembling heartbeat carved from darkness. She's alone. No wick of wax sustains it, no match could make it burn. For inside this dying flicker lies a truth the night unlearned. It glows with red illumination like a wound that will not close. A memory of every vow the witch should never have imposed. And when she cups her hands around its shadows shift and bend, for the blood within the candle knows beginnings from their end. She lights it only when the stars refuse to hold their place. When moonlight hides in trembling fear from seeing her own face. A drop of crimson forms each time the flame begins to sway, sliding down the candle's spine like time melting away. Each drop becomes a whisper, each whisper forms a plea, a fragment of a past she swore she'd never let them see. But fire does not keep secrets, fire always will rescind and bleed the witch's memory from the candle's burning skin. Oh, the blood of the last candle, a flame too dark for souls to handle. It burns with grief, none dare dismantle. A vow the night was forced to channel. Run before its truth unravels. Beware the blood of the last candle. She watches as the flame reveals the burden she concealed. A kingdom lost to winter, a wound she never healed. The ghost of someone calling from a life she tore apart. The echo of a promise stitched in shadow to her heart. And as the flame grows brighter, the room grows faint and blind, for everything forsaking candle. The flame begins to quiver, a spirit trapped inside, a pulse of fire trembling, as if ashamed to hide. It speaks in sparks and flickers, in fragments sharp and small. Your past is carved in embers, you cannot burn it all. The candle cries its final drop, a crimson sacred brand, and for a breath the witch grows still with truth she cannot stand. Oh, the blood of the last candle, a grieving tongue too dark to handle. It lights the sins you can't dismantle, it marks the fate you cannot cancel. No soul escapes its burning scandal. Beware the blood of the last candle. At dawn the flame collapses, leaving nothing in its wake. No smoke, no spark, no ember, just the silence pain can make. Yet in the cold remains a scent, like memory left to rot. The witch has tried to snuff her past, but the candle has not forgotten. The witch keeps one last candle in a chalice made of stone. Its flame, a trembling heartbeat carved from darkness, she's alone. No wick of wax sustains it, no match could make it burn. For inside this dying flicker lies a truth the night unlearned. It glows with red illumination, like a wound that will not close. A memory of every vow the witch should never have imposed. And when she cups her hands around it, shadows shift and bend. For the blood within the candle knows beginnings from their end. She lights it only when the stars refuse to hold their place. When moonlight hides in trembling fear from seeing her own face. A drop of crimson forms each time the flame begins to sway, sliding down the candle's spine like time melting away. Each drop becomes a whisper, each whisper forms a plea, a fragment of a past she swore she'd never let them see. But fire does not keep secrets, fire always will rescind and bleed the witch's memory from the candle's burning skin. Oh, the blood of the last candle. approaches as the flame reveals the burden she concealed. A kingdom lost to winter, a wound she never healed. The ghost of someone calling from a life she tore apart. The echo of a promise stitched in shadow to her heart. And as the flame grows brighter, the room grows faint and blind. For everything she ran from gathers now behind her mind. She tries to hush the visions, but they bloom like thorn and bramble, each one fed by dripping blood of the forsaken candle. The flame begins to quiver, a spirit trapped inside, a pulse of fire trembling, as if ashamed to hide. It speaks in sparks and flickers, in fragments sharp and small. Your past is carved in embers, you cannot burn it all. The candle cries its final drop, a crimson sacred brand. And for a breath the witch grows still with truth she cannot stand. Oh, the blood of the last candle, a grieving tongue too dark to handle. It lights the sins you can't dismantle. It marks the fate you cannot cancel. No soul escapes its burning scandal. Beware the blood of the last candle. At dawn the flame collapses, leaving nothing in its wake. No smoke, no spark, no ember, just the silence pain can make. Yet in the cold remains a scent, like memory left to rot. The witch has tried to snuff her past, but the candle has not forgotten. Scratched deep into the stone lies a pentagram, once perfect, now fractured, cracked and lone. Its lines were drawn with silver dust, with ashes from the dead. A map of forbidden power, once obeying what she said. But time has split its edges and the symbols bleed apart. A rupture in the geometry that mirrors her own heart. And though the witch steps carefully, she cannot hide her shame. For every fault within the star still whispers out her name. She kneels beside the broken shape and touches every scar, feeling how the shattered points still hum like distant stars. A pulse of ancient magic stirs the dust around her feet, a ghost of what the circle held before its dark defeat. She slam, and she was left with sorrow and a broken pentagram. Oh, the broken pentagram, a mark of power turned to war, a symbol torn from which is calm, a wound where shadows lose their charm. Run before it stirs alarm. Beware the broken pentagram. She traces each dismembered line, recalling every vow. The spirit she commanded then that will not answer now. A single ember flickers where a corner used to be, a dying spark of ritual that longs to be set free. She knows that if she mends it, she may resurrect its might, but mending means confronting what she failed to cast that night. And failure cuts more deeply than any hex she can withstand, a truth engraved forever in the trembling pentagram. The symbols start to shimmer, though the lines are still undone. A chorus of forgotten rites awakening one by one. She hears the call of spirits she commanded long ago. Their voices like a brittle wind, too faint for her to know. A whisper crawls across the stone, a broken shape reveals its own. The witch steps back, her heartbeat drawn, for power lost is never gone. Oh, the broken pentagram, a circle torn from witch's plan, a scar the night can barely stand, a spell too strong for mortal hand. Turn back before its cracks expand. Beware the broken pentagram. The hall grows still and silent as she rises from the floor, knowing some wounds stay broken even in folklore. She leaves the star in darkness, untouched by light's demand, a fractured map of magic she may never understand. She walks the edge of twilight where the dying colors fade, a figure veiled in whisper smoke the night itself once made. Her gown is stitched from silence, her crown from fractured light, and every step she takes becomes a vow, rewritten by the night. She wed the shifting darkness where no living creature stirs, and when the that she is bound to shadows like a bride to her despair. Prepared her union in a ritual long sealed, a pact with ancient spirits no dawn could ever heal. She offered them her memories, her sorrow and her breath, and in return they crowned her queen of shadows, life and death. Like roses split in two, a bridal bouquet forged from the pain she never knew. The bride of shadows, a vow the night forever follows, a crown of fear the moon still hollows, a heart where silent sorrow from the path of presence narrows. Beware the bride of shadow. Her veil trails like a river made of whispers lost in time, a flowing choir of memories that never learn to rhyme. Those who dare to stand too close feel cold upon their skin, a wedding kiss of emptiness inviting them within. She dances through the forest as the shadows part and kneel, accepting her sovereign in a kingdom none can steal. Her footsteps leave no echo, yet her silence resonates, a melody of darkness that eternity creates. The night becomes her chapel, the stars her dim-lit choir, the wind recites her promises in voices low and dire. She lifts her veil in moonlight, a glimpse no soul survives. For eyes that meet the bride's true face forget they once had life. Into the darkness with her kingdom close behind, a bride whose only marriage is two realms that split the mind. And still the forest whispers when her echo drifts and slows, the witch who wed the darkness is the one the silence chose. She carries a silver needle forged from shadows trimmed with frost, a tool to pierce the daylight and reclaim what she has lost. Its point is sharp as prophecy, its thread a stolen ray, a fragment of the sunrise she unraveled far away. She lifts it toward the morning as the world begins to glow, and every color pales beneath the thread she starts to sew. For light becomes a fragile thing when held too tight, too slight. It bends beneath the witch who weaves her needle through the light. She stitches up the edges where the dawn begins to tear, binding golden strands together with a cold, unyielding care. Each pull reveals a hidden truth the daylight tried to hide, a memory of mercy the darkness once denied. Birdsong falters in the treetops as the sky begins to pour. The sun itself grows heavy, dim, as if becoming dull, and shadows creep like ink across a page too tight to write. Guided by her steady hand, the needle through the light. A stitch that turns the day to night, a seam that binds the wrong and right, a thread that steals the sun's last sight. Run before you're caught in spite, beware the needle through the light. The world around her flickers like a lantern losing flame, its warmth collapsing inward as she calls the daylight's name. But names hold ancient power and the sun resists her hold, a trembling force of brilliance too fierce to be controlled. Her needle shakes, the thread grows taut, a fragile dying light. The witch inhales the failing glow as if it were divine, yet even she can feel the strain that dawn prepares to fight. For every stitch she weaves pulls shadow through the light. A burst of gold, a crack of white, the thread snaps loose with sudden bite. The needle hums with stolen might, a weapon forged to wound the bright. She steadies it with silent fear, for even witches learn to hear the breaking of a world too near when light begins to disappear. Oh, the needle through the light, a mark where day forgets its height, a tear the stars cannot rewrite, a wound the dawn cannot ignite. Turn back before you lose your sight, beware the needle through the light. She gathers up the fragments of the morning she untied, a tapestry of twilight only she can stitch or hide, and And somewhere in the quiet, the sun prepares its fight. For witches weaving shadows cannot always pierce the light. It came to a red midnight with soft footsteps made of dust. A creature born of moonless nights and secrets she could trust. Its eyes were twin eclipses, its breath a quiet sigh. A familiar woven from the threads of things that never die. It circled her in silence, then settled by her side, as if it knew the weight she bore, the shadow she would hide. And when she felt it near her, something old began to stir. A whisper in the darkness meant for only her. So faint, so clear, a sound that feels like memory, like longing wrapped in fear. It told her of the forest's sake, of spells she'd left undone, of promises forgotten when she first devoured the sun. Its words were like a trembling pulse that brushed against her soul, unraveling the quiet parts she never could control. She closed her eyes and listened, though the truth was cold and sure. The whisper of her familiar was a warning to endure. A voice from shadows growing nearer, a truth no spell can make less clearer, a bond no fear can sever dearer. Run before the night grows nearer, beware the whisper of the familiar. Down a winding path where roots began to shift, where memory and prophecy collided in the mist. And there it spoke more urgently, its breath against her hand, revealing what awaited her beyond the mortal land. It showed her visions blurred with ash of futures torn apart, of curses growing heavier than even she could chart. Yet still it pressed its fragile form against her cloak of fur, a guardian born of shadow, bond that shadows hold superior. Turn back before your fate grows drear. Beware the whisper of the familiar. Breaking dawn, dissolving into haze, leaving her with echoes of the secrets it had raised. And though the sun returned again, the witch could still infer the whisper of her familiar would someday reoccur. There's a path the witch avoids, though she carved it long ago. A winding track of moonlit dust where silent memories grow. It circles through the forest like a question left unsaid. A place where footsteps echo twice, once living, once long dead. The branches bend in warning every time she wanders near, as if the trees recall a truth she never wished to hear. But still the path lies waiting like a trap within the black, a road that always leads her to the place that turns her back. She steps upon its trembling spine, the night begins to warp. The shadows leaning closer as the forest starts to morph. Each stone she passes flickers, each root she sees appears like something she once buried, rising now from ancient fears. The trail loops in a circle, though she swears she's walking straight. Its curves are shaped by choices she once sealed with fate. And every time she takes a turn, the past begins to track. For this is not a forward path, but one that always turns back. Oh, the path that turns back, a road where truth begins to crack, a loop where time forgets its track, a maze that pulls the spirit's slack. Run before the night reacts, beware the path that turns back. A faint and distant whisper joins the wind forest folds, the ground shifts tight. The witch stands still in borrowed sight. Two versions breathe the same cold night. One born of fear, one born of light. A single truth begins to bite. You cannot run from what you write. Black, a loop where futures all retract. A truth no spell can counteract. Turn back before your soul is tracked. Beware the path that turns back. Oh, she closes her eyes and steps away, refusing to persist. Letting memories dissolve like breath swallowed by mist. Her shadow, always turning back. They say the sky once feared her, for she stole its brightest crown. The moon that lit the forests when the stars were falling down. Now she walks without its silver, without its guiding glow. Alone and moonless witch who shaped the darkness she outgrew. Her shadow stretches farther than the borders of the night. A memory of power she can no longer reunite. Yet still the forest trembles with each whisper in her wake. For even without moonlight she decides what shadows make. She wanders past the hollow trees that know her by her name, past rivers that remember when the sky first lost its flame. The world feels strangely brittle, as if holding in its breath, unsure if she walks seeking peace or courting something's death. She lifts her hand toward empty sky, expecting light to bloom, but only darkness answers now, expanding like a tomb. A quiet grief falls over her, as soft as falling pitch, for nothing crowns the night above the moonless witch. Oh, the moonless witch, a sovereign made of dusk and stitches, soul the heavens fail to enrich. A fate no prophecy can switch, run from the places where shadows glitch. Beware the moonless witch. A murmured voice behind her stirs the secret she once sealed, the echo of her former self, the power she revealed. It calls to her from memory, she tore apart the sky to claim a darker truth. But even witches hunger for a light they can't restore, and even darkness wonders what she stole the moonlight for. She gazes at the empty void of vast unyielding pitch, a throne its load, its luminy, a moonless witch. The wind grows tense, the stars retreat, the earth beneath forgets its beat. A single spark begins to fleet. The witch steps back, it feels like heat, a distant glow, a pulse, a glitch. The night sighs deep, it knows which will rise again or fall unclutched. The world now waits for what she'll touch. Oh, the moonless witch, a tale the sky can't override, a shadow queen of stolen night, a heart once bound to lunar light. Turn back before you join her blight. Beware the moonless witch. She closes her eyes and walks ahead, past us, past fear, past fate. A creature born of shadows, womb the world can recreate. And though the moon is gone for good, its absence sings her switch. The world will long remember the rise of the moonless witch.